big changes are ahead in the TVC Ohio. The Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes took on the Athens Bulldogs in a revenge game with big consequences.
The Athens boys throw a wrench into the conference standings, and the Waterford Lady Wildcats keep their title hopes alive.
Hardwood Heroes starts right now!
Week 2 should come with a warning label because of what's coming your way for the next 30 minutes. I'm your host, Bryce Tinson.
And I'm your host, Haley Hollinger. It is once again time to talk about TVC basketball. And the first team on the roster is the Federal Hocking Lancers.
That's right. Reporter Reese Thompson joins us to talk about the team from Stewart, the Federal Hocking Lady Lancers.
Thanks, guys. The Lady Lancers reached new heights after breaking their 3-game losing streak against Belpre. The Golden Eagles held the lead the majority of the game until the Lancers scored a high of 23 points in the fourth quarter over the amount of points they scored in the first and second. The game came down to the final minute when the Lancers went into high gear to pull away a 53-50 win.
Reese, now that the girls have found a way to surpass their scoring slump, who is a key contributor for the Lancers in crunch time?
Senior Bella McVeigh stole the spotlight when she tied the game 45-45 with a 3, and that started a trend for her. Consistent 3-pointers by McVeigh put the Lancers ahead, and she single-handedly brought them to victory.
Now, McVeigh is a senior on this ball club, so how special was this moment for her?
Bella told me it was all about putting everything out on the floor before she graduates. So this was one of her final chances to utilize the physicality skills the team has been working on.
The girls have taken a step in the right direction. Now catch me up on how the boys team has played.
The boys are still going strong on their impressive 15-game win streak after defeating Belpre. The Federal Hocking boys team made the tempo clear by playing high-energy, physical basketball. The Lancers and Golden Eagles would trade blows throughout the first quarter. Look at Tarek Cottrell making buckets from the third ring of Saturn, along with Andrew Earhart with 2 3-point baskets in the first. Going into the second quarter is where the game began to slip away from Belpre as Federal Hocking opened up the floor. Cottrell would go on to finish with 27 points on the night, along with Earhart and Caden Chapman, who also finished in double digits. Earhart ended with 13 points, 9 of which from beyond the arc. Chapman scored 15 points, 3 of 4 from 3-point land. Coming back after the half, Belpre took to the court with a new style of play that narrowed the lead 66-35 in favor of the Lancers. Federal Hocking picked it up again in the final quarter to win 74-45 and propel them to a current 16-game win streak. But this is only the beginning for the boys. On Friday, Federal Hocking takes on the 3-seed Trimble Tomcats. Over the Lancers' win streak, they have heavily outscored their opponents 71-51, a +20 margin of victory. If Federal Hocking completes the sweep against Trimble, they will clinch the TVC Hocking title for good and further solidify their top spot in the conference. The confidence is there for the Lancers. Now they just have to execute that onto the hardwood.
We'll see if they can do that. Thanks for the great work, Reese.
Want more TVC basketball? Check out our Facebook and Twitter for game recaps and conference standing update weekly. Rewatch your favorite plays and shots over and over on our Instagram, and you can even take a peek into the TVC student sections on our TikTok. And for a bit of light reading, go to WOUB.org for written recaps. Ball never stops, and neither does our content. Now joining me to discuss the Trimble Tomcats' loss against Southern, reporter Parker Capronica.
Thanks, Haley. The Southern Tornadoes won their first in-conference game of the season and beat Trimble for the first time in 4 years. Southern pulled off this upset with a well-executed defensive plan. They held Trimble to only 32% shooting from the field and 22% shooting from 3.
Now, what was the defensive plan for the Tornadoes?
There was one main component. Do not let Trimble in the paint. The Tomcats are not a 3-point shooting team, and Southern schemed around that with a 2-3 zone. It was plays like these that made the Tomcats' life difficult all night.
You're right, their movement was absolutely fantastic, and they got there just in time. The Tomcats thought they had gaps where they didn't.
They didn't, and they were quick on those rotations. They were moving in timely, and when Tomcats were getting shots up, the contests were good to make those low percentage looks.
And the Tomcats aren't used to those low percentage looks, so it was very difficult for them. But how were they able to counteract that defense?
I've got a name for you. Cole Wright. The big man was consistently crashing the offensive boards, creating second chance opportunities for his team. He ended up finishing the game with 12 rebounds. 7 of those were on the offensive end.
Now, what was the emotions for Southern? I know this was a very emotional game.
The Tornadoes faithful were elated. After Southern hit a go-ahead bucket with a few seconds left, they prematurely stormed the court, leading to a short delay. But once the win was officially sealed, it was madness for the Tornadoes. After the game, we talked to Coach Jeff Caldwell about what this win meant for his program.
Trying to build, get a few wins down the stretch and become a pretty tough team to beat come tournament time. And I'm just really proud of the boys tonight because they executed the game plan great. And it seems like we played really well as a team tonight.
Well, Parker, it's going to be exciting to see how they play against South Gallia on Tuesday. But for now, let's take a look at another Trimble Southern matchup.
That's right. The girls also took on Southern this past week. The Lady Tomcats started the game off hot, jumping to a 22-17 lead by the end of the first half. This momentum carried forward as Trimble coasted to a 47-39 victory.
Parker, that's quite the pace change. Where did they find that momentum?
Well, Haley, it all came down to scheming in the coach's box and effort on the court. Coach Joe Richards instituted a full court press defense early in the first quarter, which stifled the Tornadoes' attack. That defense led to plenty of transition opportunities for the Lady Tomcats.
We talked a lot about defense. Tell me about their offense.
Well, the girls countered Southern's zone defense with great ball movement, consistently finding the open shooter and knocking down their shots when they had them. After the game, Coach Richards talked about his team's improved effort.
We need effort. Good things happen when you're flying around the court. 5, not 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 girls flying around. And I thought we did that this first night. We need to keep doing it for 32 minutes.
The Lady Tomcats are now looking ahead to a matchup on Monday against the Federal Hocking Lady Lancers. Hopefully they're able to keep that same energy and effort in that one.
Thanks, Parker. Thanks for the breakdown, and that'll be a good game. I personally can't wait.
That was some sweet analysis, and I'm sure the boys will bounce back from that loss. But for the girls, they had another important game this week. They squared off against a really good Eastern Eagles team back on Thursday. With that, we welcome on Eastern reporter Donovan Varney to see how the Eagles fared.
Thanks, Bryce. It was rocking in Reedsville this week. Both the girls and the boys team picked up huge wins in games that went down to the wire. The Lady Eagles stayed flaming hot and extended their win streak to 7 on Thursday night as they hosted Trimble at the Eagles Nest. Led by Sydney Reynolds' 28 points and Julie Durst's 20, they were able to claw past the Tomcats for a 60-52 victory.
Now, Donovan, why was this such a close game in the first place?
Well, Bryce, the Lady Eagles were down their starting center and therefore were dominated on the glass. Trimble was able to capitalize on their misses and create lots of second chance points, shooting an efficient 50% from the field.
Obviously, the Eagles pulled it out in the end, but what did they do to pull away?
In a game that was back and forth from the very beginning, the Lady Eagles were able to rally in the fourth quarter behind a 9-0 run on offense. They were assisted by multiple visits to the charity stripe and some early three-pointers by Reynolds and junior guard Hope Reed.
Now, that's an impressive win for the Lady Eagles. Who's next on the docket?
That's right, Bryce. The girls are looking to travel to South Gallia where they take on the Rebels, who are at the top of the TVC right now. This matchup will be huge for the girls as the playoffs are approaching. Meanwhile, the boys team traveled over to Crown City where they also face the Rebels of South Gallia. Jace Bullington and company found themselves in the win column this week against the Rebels. This is a game that saw a lot of young players take big leaps. In a matchup that went down to the final seconds, we saw freshman Ethan Edwards put the team on his back in crunch time, knocking down 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Another freshman, Colton Lloyd, and sophomore Connor Nolan both added 13 points in the Eagles' valiant victory in Crown City Tuesday night. The 3 underclassmen combined for a total of 39 points. The Eagles have had some dark years, but they're now starting to see the light after picking up the 51-46 victory. With lots of young talent in front of him, Coach David Kite is building a strong foundation for the future. Guys like Edwards, Nolan, and Lloyd will play a huge part in their success down the road. But it starts with the new mantra they've adopted this season. They call it the foxhole mentality.
If you're in the bunker fighting, you're not going to leave your fellow soldier. So we're kind of in this together. We're not going to back down. One of us won't back down because none of us will back down. So we're in it together. You fight for your teammate. You play hard for your teammate. So we're all in the foxhole together.
That's right. The Eagles are continuing to soar to new heights and write off those that doubt them. It'll be interesting to see if they can make some noise in the playoffs this year.
Thanks for the great work, Donovan. And they are absolutely a team that is flying under the radar. We definitely need to keep an eye on them for sure.
But for another team you never want to see in your rear view are the Waterford Wildcats. Waterford's currently clawing for position in the TVC Hocking with both boys and girls teams ready to fight for the title. Their games this week had major implications to that fight. We now welcome Waterford Wildcats reporter Charlie Elingfield to take us through this up-and-down boys season.
Thanks, Haley. Waterford came into Tuesday looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. Waterford struggled mightily against the Division II juggernaut in Warren, but expected to rebound versus Shenandoah. However, they ultimately fell short in the fourth quarter.
So this week when the Wildcats took on Southern, did they see a different result?
It did not seem like it at first for Waterford. The Southern Tornadoes made it a gritty affair early with turnovers and contested shots. But Gavin Brooker was up to the physical challenge, finding underneath all night long. One aspect that has been consistent all year long has been Jarrett Armstrong. He has continued to build up his reputation as a sharpshooter, with three-pointers blowing the Tornadoes away, 55-35.
So Charlie, what is behind the inconsistency for the Waterford boys?
They certainly need to work on creating open shots, as in the first half, they were forced to settle for contested looks. That's not going to work against their toughest test next week against the Federal Hocking Lancers.
Charlie, the Waterford girls faced their most substantial test of the season on Monday. How did they fare?
The Waterford girls faced the South Gallia Rebels with the fate of the TVC Hocking on the line. Right out of the gates, the Wildcats had an immediate spark plug in the return of Kendall Surrey, who had been battling injury up to this contest. She made her presence felt by burying shots. At the end of one, Waterford had jumped ahead 14-10. In the second quarter, the physicality of Avery Wagner was on full display as she worked inside to get this layup. The Rebels just did not seem to have an answer underneath the basket, as she would finish with 12 rebounds, which was vital in stifling second chances for South Gallia. Out of halftime, the Wildcats imposed their will on the Rebels, particularly from beyond the arc, the place where they'd been successful all year long. Lakin Jones nailed this three to cement a dominant third for Waterford. South Gallia was physical, and they fought for every bucket, but it simply was not enough, as the Waterford Wildcats took down the TVC Hocking top dogs 49-38.
The Waterford girls suffered a stinging defeat against South Gallia on the road in their last outing. What changed this time out?
2 words: injuries and threes. Last time out against the Lindsley Cadets, the Wildcats were victimized by the long ball. But against the Rebels, Kendall Surrey was the driving force for Waterford's defense. The perimeter defense for Waterford improved significantly. Last time against South Gallia, they struggled mightily against the three, and this time, the Rebels managed a measly 2 buckets from beyond the arc. The Waterford Wildcats are now in prime position for their 3rd straight TVC Hocking title.
Thanks, Charlie. Now let's take a deeper dive into the girls' conference race. The South Gallia Rebels have been a force to be reckoned with, but as Charlie mentioned, the Wildcats' conference hopes are far from gone, and Waterford has yet to play Belpre and Trimble for the 2nd time, while Federal Hocking only has 1 conference game left. The title race is mostly narrowed down. The other squads in the Hocking are behind the 2 leaders by 2 games or more. And we're going to move on over to the Hocking boys. The Federal Hocking Lancers will have to win at least 1 more game to win a share of the Hocking title. The Lancers have played the most in-conference ball in the Hocking, so that means that most other teams are still going to have about 5 or less conference games. There's a lot of teams that have 4 games left to play. So this really means that this title race is not out of reach. Waterford and Trimble are currently preying on the downfall of Federal Hocking.
The boys' Hocking is pretty clear-cut at the top, but that is not the case in the Ohio. We've got a clump of teams vying for a title. To talk about one of the 4 teams still alive in the title hunt, we welcome in Alexander lead reporter Shane Scalfaro.
Thanks, Bryce. The Spartans had a chance to extend their lead and fell short. When the Athens Bulldogs come to town, you know it's going to be a big night. A TVC showdown in the alley got the crowd rocking, but not without some pushback from the other side, with the Athens student section showing up strong. Starting this game off, simply put, it was all Spartans. They moved the ball freely and had everything clicking the way they wanted to. Scoring was spread out between multiple people, and it looked as though the game might have been over at half with a score of 22-12. In comes Landon Wheatley. He came out of the locker room on a mission and started changing momentum for the Bulldogs. He torched Alexander from 3, hitting 7 of his 13 shots en route to a 31-point night. The Spartans kept themselves in the game, pulling in 22 total rebounds, but couldn't get them back up into the net. And it seemed like Alexander had the ball slip out of their hands too many times, having 14 total turnovers on the night. And while Alexander had their final shot to send the game into overtime, a big Athens rebound put the final nail in the coffin, with the Spartans falling 40-37.
We're going to switch over to the girls now, and I hear they got a monkey off their back, Shane.
Bryce, the moment has finally come for the Lady Spartans. Coming into this game, the Alexander girls had yet to get their first win, and with their matchup against the 4-13 Vinton County Vikings, this was one of their biggest chances to get it. But let's jump into the middle of the first quarter. Kaylee Hudnall driving, passes to Juliana Kane, and she drops it in 8-6 after 1. Second quarter, and we are back with Hudnall. Gets the outside and nails the 3 to lead the Spartans 18-14 going into halftime. But oh man, she ain't done yet. Check out the physicality in the freshman, getting a big and 1 to extend the lead. The Vikings caught back up on the scoreboard, but the Spartans kept in the fight with the lead changing multiple times in the fourth quarter. BC did their best to rain on Alexander's parade, but the Spartans protected against the surge to win 49-45. We spoke with Coach Grinstead after the game about the feeling of getting their first win of the season.
Feels very good. It's been a lot of pressure when you're 0-17 or 0-18. You're searching for that win every game, and you got to make sure your team's ready. I felt like tonight we were focused before the game more than ever, and I'm very happy to have that first win.
With the loss to Wilson on Thursday, they have 2 more games to try and steal a win before playoffs.
You know, Shane, it'll be interesting to see if they can steal one of those with some momentum on their side. We'll see what happens with that. Let's throw it on over to Haley to talk about a couple of teams playing some of their best ball right now.
Thanks, Bryce. This Meigs Marauders team was on a roll coming into this game, and the Meigs boys have been struggling to rack up wins this season, but they've had success in recent games coming together as a team and playing as a singular unit. To break down how the boys' season has been, we welcome Meigs reporter Andrew Bowlby.
Thanks, Haley. While the record might be a bit disappointing, the Marauders are still finding positives in what has been a rebuilding year. This year, Meigs is one of the youngest teams in the TVC. With only 2 seniors on the roster, the Marauders have been finding new ways to win nightly. One of those seniors is Ethan Stewart, and unfortunately has missed the majority of the year after suffering a season-ending injury. Brody Bitcher is the lone senior suiting up each game. He acts as a glue guy for Meigs and performed well Friday night against River Valley, dropping 10 points and 5 rebounds.
Although the Marauders don't have many veterans, how have they been able to find success this season?
Even without experienced players, Meigs has still been able to win games by coming together and playing strong team basketball. Night in and night out, the Marauders play together and help one another on both ends of the floor. Meigs also have underclassmen Conley Burnham, Caden Geen, and Braylon Harrison facilitating the offense. Head coach Jeremy Hill says he is proud with how his team is coming together to earn wins.
Individual that's stepping up. We're coming together and playing a lot better as a team. The scoring tonight was well balanced, which again, those stats that you guys have, that's not a sign of a 6-11 ball club.
Bowlby, while the boys have been fighting towards the bottom of the TVC, it has been the complete opposite, I hear, for the girls.
It really has, Haley. The girls had a big opportunity to hand TVC leading Athens their first conference loss on Monday night. Meigs made the 30-minute trip up Route 33 to take on the Lady Bulldogs, looking to avenge a 6-point loss from earlier this season. Quickly jumping to the second quarter, Meigs gets the ball into the post and lets Riley Lyle go to work, count the bucket, and 1. Lyle's play on both ends, combined with the Jennifer Parker 3, had Meigs screaming into the locker room on an 11-3 run, cutting the lead for Athens just to 5. Coming out of halftime, Meigs was playing a brand of team basketball, passing down good shots for great ones. Here, Doreen Wright passes the ball, makes a cut, and finishes inside. A few possessions later, she kicks it out to the corner to Andrea Marr, who knocks down a triple, giving Meigs the lead 35-34. While the offense was cooking, the key to the turnaround in this game was the defense. Meigs turned to his zone D, shutting down Athens' offense, and made stop after stop to pull away and defeat the Bulldogs 62-48. Meigs has won 6 of their last 7, and they continue to stay hot down the stretch.
Well, we're certainly going to keep our eyes locked on the Lady Marauders. Thanks for the great work.
Our next stop is the Plains. Both Bulldogs teams are fighting tooth and nail for a title. Let's check in with Athens reporter Caleb McCleskey to get the latest.
Glad to be here today, Bryce.
So, Caleb, what's been popping in the doghouse this week for the Bulldogs?
The Athens boys basketball team hosted the River Valley Bears for their second matchup of the season. Sitting 4th in the TVC Ohio, Athens needed this win to squeeze into the 3rd place spot.
What challenges did the Raiders serve the Dogs?
Well, Bryce, I'd say bad dog food. The Raiders proved to be no pushovers that would only be down by 3 at the end of the first half. River Valley was able to get easy layups and get multiple defensive stops to hang around.
Now, which Bulldogs were shining during this game?
These 2 absolute dogs. The guard combo of Nathan Shattuck and Landon Wheatley. Shattuck would end with a 10-point double-double, including 14 rebounds, and Wheatley would pour in 18 points. This guard duo is not to be underestimated.
Yes, sir. What improvements did we see from Athens in this game?
Bryce, 3 things. 1, this veteran squad has needed to improve their rebounding the entire season, and it showed out Tuesday on both sides of the ball. 2, limit turnovers. The Bulldogs need to keep this under wraps to not give the Raiders any glimmer of hope. And 3, smart decisions, whether it be shooting, reaching, or passing. Athens was patient.
Now, the boys are playing some really good ball right now, Caleb, but it's time to give the girls some time in the spotlight. But in order to break down a game this big, we need Nelsonville lead reporter Dylan Westmeyer.
That's right, Bryce. The Buckeyes and the Bulldogs took the stage in Ben Wagner Gymnasium on Thursday night.
The Athens Lady Bulldogs were hoping to regain conference control after they fell to Meigs Monday.
And on the other hand, the Buckeyes want to avenge their loss to these Bulldogs in front of a rowdy home crowd.
In the first quarter, Ella Chapman gets this pass from Asa Holcomb and gets a friendly bounce off the rim and drops it in for the three. Later in the first, as Era Levy gets the ball, drives past her defender to the rim, Emily Zuber gets the denial as she forces the turnover.
Then as this gets heated in the second half, Holcomb drives to the hoop and Levy's quick hands and feet swipe the ball off Holcomb's leg to take possession.
As Athens find themselves down in the third quarter, oh my goodness, Olivia Smart is able to hit this three to keep the Bulldogs within striking distance.
But Era Levy says not so fast. She hits this nasty step back to put the Buckeyes up 6 late in the game. The game would come down to the wire as Levy would seal the Buckeyes' victory with this free throw. Levy finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 3 steals.
I say this could be the game of the year for the TVC Ohio. If it weren't for Athens fumbling the bag, they'd be sitting atop the conference loud and proud. But NY took the reins in a tough one. Let's take a look at what's ahead for these two powerhouses. As the Bulldogs sink to 8-2 in the conference, they take on the Alexander Spartans and finish off the season in the doghouse against the Vinton County Vikings. If the Bulldogs win out, they need some miracles if they want to take a share of the TVC Ohio crown.
And for the Buckeyes, they take on the River Valley Raiders at home and then travel to Pomeroy to take on the Meigs Marauders. If Nelsonville York can take care of business, they will take the title outright. The Buckeyes do have some wiggle room, though, as if they lose one of their remaining games, they will still take a share of the title.
What a massive win for the girls as they now have full control of the Ohio. But the boys are in the thick of the race, too. Did they show up when the lights were brightest?
Well, Bryce, the boys took on the Vinton County Vikings in a matchup of teams tied atop the TVC Ohio. Joining me to break down this monumental matchup is Vinton County reporter Grant Kiefer.
Well, Dylan, this matchup in MacArthur between the Vikings and the Buckeyes lived up to the hype. The Vikings look to defend home court, but the Buckeyes of Nelsonville York are coming off 5 straight wins, looking for the upset.
The Buckeyes came out with one plan in mind, and that was attack the paint. And when NY attacks the paint, that means one name, Trent Morrissey.
The Vikings played bully ball with the Buckeyes on offense, making their way into the paint and putting in both easy layups and tough contested jumpers.
Morrissey had the Buckeyes on his back in the first half, putting up 11 points, keeping the game interesting going into the break.
Coming out of the break, the Vikings and Buckeyes went back and forth in the third, but Vinton County's Garrett Brown turned it up on the defensive end with this huge block, and later in the fourth, he drained this 3-point bomb. Splash!
Keegan Swope started making basket after basket in the fourth, but it was too little too late as Vinton County beats Nelsonville York 55-44. Now that the Vikings sit atop the TVC standings, let's look towards the future at how Vinton County and Nelsonville York can still take a share of the TVC Ohio title.
Dylan, if Vinton County wins out against Athens and River Valley on the road while taking care of business at home against Meigs and Wellston, the latter which they fell to earlier in the season, the Vikings will win the title outright with the Buckeyes finishing second and Alexander falling to third. So, what did the Buckeyes need to do to take a share of the title, Dylan?
Well, Grant, for the Buckeyes to win a share of the title, they would need to win out and then would need some help. Vinton County would need to lose to Athens, which would have the Vikings finishing at 9-3 in the conference and a tie for the title. This would leave Athens falling to 8-4 along with Alexander, leaving the title race tight to the end of the season. But let's keep looking at some of these matchups as we take a look at the final 4 teams in our most realistic situation.
That's right. As now taking a look at these teams, we'll take a look at this most realistic prediction. Vinton County will take this spot up top with this loss to Athens. And Nelsonville York would lose to Alexander in this scenario. Alexander also loses to Meigs to finish 8-4 with Athens taking a loss and Nelsonville York 8-4. A lot of back and forth there, Dylan.
That's right, Grant. And not just this situation, there is still some chaos that could happen. If Vinton County finds a way to lose 2 of their last 4 matchups while also losing to Athens, there could theoretically be a 4-way tie. If Nelsonville York would have to lose to Alexander and then Athens would have to lose to VC on the road.
And lastly, we have the Spartans dropping a tight one on the road against Meigs Marauders to finish in that 3-way tie.
Now, Grant, let's pivot to the girls' team. They've overcome a lot of adversity to gel together. How much have they grown this season?
Yeah, Bryce, this is a team that's 2 years removed from a state final appearance. But over the last 2 seasons, there's been a lot of change to this squad with lots of fresh, new faces stepping in this season.
But they're not all new though, right? I mean, Chloe Habron and Lindsay Riddle were carryovers from last year's team.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, as Habron and Riddle were the only 2 returning players from last year's squad and returned just 7 points per game from Vinton County's 57 points per game as a team last year. Head coach Brett Jones spoke on how much those 2, along with the team as a whole, have stepped up as the season has progressed.
Varsity playing time. But, I thought this group was, a fun group to coach, a group that was just going to keep working and working and working. And that's what we've continued to do. We've continued to progress. We've continued to show up.
And Bryce, this is a team to keep an eye on to close out the season in style as their chemistry keeps improving.
Yeah, Grant, I think we'll be seeing a lot of good from this team next year. Thanks for the great work. With the Meigs upset over Athens, we have a new #1 atop the girls' standings. It's a tight 3-team race, but with just 2 games left, it's NY's to lose. Meigs and Athens are crossing their fingers for that NY loss. Vinton County is now just a half game ahead of Wellston in that 6th spot. After Alexander's first win of the season, they're still last, but that one looks pretty good. As we've discussed extensively, the top of the Ohio boys is a bloodbath. Vinton County is just a game up on the 2 teams sharing second, NY and Alexander. Athens is a game behind both of those teams in second and will look to make that final push. Meigs has played well as of late, but are on the outside looking in. Wellston is 6th and River Valley is 7th, still searching for that first conference win. Well, let's get right into it. It's time for Hero of the Week. We're starting on the boys' side. The reason those TVC boys standings are so crazy is because of one man.
Bryce, that's right. Our boys' hero of the week was the hero for Athens in their upset over Alexander. That player is none other than Landon Wheatley.
Wheatley was a menace on the court. I don't know if I've ever seen a player take over quite like he did in the second half against the Spartans.
The takeover was absolutely insane. Athens only scored 12 points in the first half, and then they scored 28 in the second. Wheatley accounted for 31 of the Bulldogs' points, and he made it personal, taking on Alexander single-handedly.
Do you know how much confidence you have to pull up on some of those shots? My guy was pulling like Steph Curry all night long. I think he has the Hall of Fame sharpshooter and long-range Deadeye Baz equipped.
Bryce, I couldn't think of a more fitting description. Going 55% from the field is not easy, but he made it look that way. And another player that made it look easy is our girls' hero of the week. She nearly matched Wheatley's performance in her game against Trimble.
That's right, Haley. Sydney Reynolds came up huge in Eastern's 8-point win over Trimble. I mean, we're talking nearly half of the Eagles' points coming from her alone.
That's right, Reynolds scored 28 of her team's 60 points, and she plays as the ultimate team leader. She finds ways to get open and guide her team to success, and that drive led her and her team to a win in their game against Trimble.
She's a beat-you-from-everywhere player at the rim, from mid-range, behind the arc. She's going to make you pay. You've got to have your eyes on her at all times.
Yes, you do, and her stats speak for themselves. In Reedsville, they say fly, Eagles fly, and this girl is certainly flying.
I'll tell you what, she's going to be key in a possible deep Eastern playoff run. She'll have to be playing at this level, which she is fully capable of doing night in and night out. That is all the TVC basketball we have for you today, folks. It was a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check our socials throughout the week.
Absolutely. And our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now our Snapchat. If you guys haven't heard, it is Hardwood_Heroes. Check all of those for content throughout the week because it will absolutely be there. And I'm excited for some of the stuff we're going to be putting up. I don't know if you guys have seen the content we put out on TikTok. We're visiting student sections. We're excited to get to those games and to do those segments with you.
Especially as the playoffs come up. We got 1 week left for the girls, and then they're in the thick of it. I'm really excited to see what we got.
All right, that's all we have. And for now, we're reminding you
to be heroic.